we're very passionate about our business because it's not just about making cute products and making money, but it really is contributing to the livelihood of our artisans.
Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. If you didn't see, we hosted an incredible picnic at the end of August to kick off our return to in-person events. And after almost a year and a half of so much struggle globally, it was really important to me that we incorporated some kind of good cause to our event. Our attendees brought beauty and wellness products, and we put together self-care packages for women in homeless shelters here in New York City. I consider New York City Brunch Squad to be a mission-driven brand in many ways, but this is a specific example of how, whenever possible, I like us to use our collective power to give back and share with those in need. When I was putting together this event, I knew I wanted the gift bags for our attendees to be either straw or wicker bags because, of course, I wanted to keep in line with the picnic vibes. But I was truly so blown away by the stunning designs of Everina. They seriously take straw and wicker bags to the next level, and that's what initially drew me in. So let me just show you guys. I have two examples here. This is one, and you can see the inside is incredible. And then I have another one here. So cute, so unique. Like, I had never seen bags like this before. So once I started looking into the brand and really understanding their mission, I fell even more in love with them. I'm so excited to welcome the founder and creative director of Everina to our platform so she can talk a little more about the incredible work she's doing, and you guys can hear a bit more about their story. So welcome, Emily. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, thank you again for being a part of our Picnic with Purpose.
Thank you, Liza. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so honored that you guys reached out to us and want to collaborate with us. And for us, it's really important that we support other women's businesses, especially small business, and the fact that there is a purpose behind it is just like an icing on the cake for us. So, thank you.
Amazing. So I love partnering with mission-driven brands, and I found the mission of Everina to be incredibly inspiring. Can you tell us a little bit about that mission and how your work is impacting the talented artisans who create your stunning products?
So our mission since the beginning is to create fashion accessories that has a purpose. So for us, purpose can be anything from bringing confidence into our customers, but also appreciating the people behind the product. So we make sure that all of our products are being sourced ethically, and in this case we source directly from our artisans in Indonesia. So ethical sourcing, if many of you guys have heard about it, or you see it a lot nowadays in like social media or even the news. Ethical sourcing really means that you are making sure that the people behind your products are being paid fairly. That's just like the basic of it. Like, you sourcing these products, you are buying these products from a source that is making the products in an ethical way, from making sure they're being paid fairly to making sure that there's no child labor in their work environment. And then another purpose of our company is also to use materials that are sourced locally in Indonesia, in different islands, but still within the proximity of the same kind of island or the same country like Indonesia. And also materials that are eco-friendly, which is like a natural fiber like rattan. You see it a lot in furniture, you see it a lot in home decor. Actually a tropical plant that only grows in Southeast Asia like Vietnam and Indonesia. And also use material like what we called ate grass. Ate grass is really unique because it really only grows in Indonesia. Actually a tropical grass that grows around lakes and rivers in Indonesia. And these like materials actually have been used from like generation to generation. Like decades ago. If you go back to like the 60s, you started to see that there were furniture that are made from rattan. And
That's so cool.
there, people make it into like handbags. And that's how these like actual sustainability actually already started decades ago. But there were not many companies at that point who really focus on it.
Wow. It's so inspiring. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely
And
amazing.
also, I forgot to mention, like another mission of us is to work directly with these artisans,
Yeah.
that we have a couple of micro businesses in Indonesia. We actually have three micro businesses from three different islands in Indonesia. There's two of them actually owned by women, and one of them is owned by a family. And they actually uh, employ these groups of artisans that work in a studio, or what they call a work center. So
Wow.
it factory, they are able to produce like hundreds, if not thousands of products per month, but making sure that everything is still high quality. Obviously, because it's handmade, everything is not going to be exactly the same because it is by hand. But it's also high quality. Like for example, one of my artisan, artisan business, she has been in business for 30 years, since
Wow.
the 90s. And so these
Beautiful.
are the kind of women in micro business that I want to work with, because they're not only producing good quality, producing like amazing products, but they're actually employing families. They're employing women and men who, because of our business, they're able to support their child education, their basically livelihood. So that's essentially the essence of ethical fashion. Is it is the core belief that lifestyle choices impact livelihood.
I love that. It's so true. And you're kind of taking me into my second question I had for you, which is why is it important for consumers to educate themselves and support ethical fashion brands? Because I know even for myself, this sort of became, I feel like, a buzzword a few years ago, or at least that's when I started hearing it and seeing it for the first time. And I had no idea, like, all of those horrible things that are connected to fast fashion brands. Like, I had never been aware of any of that. And it's just so crazy to think that, like, these products that you see every day and you're so familiar with these brands, like what are you really supporting, right? Like when you're purchasing from these companies, like what is happening behind the scenes to get you that product? It's so frightening when you like really start looking into these things and like educating yourself on them. So I have a long way to go. I would say I'm very much like at the beginning of my journey of like really diving into this stuff, but I have been finding different bloggers and people who focus on sustainable fashion, and I've just been learning so much. And so, yeah, why do you think it's important for consumers to know these things and to, choose to support ethical fashion brands?
Basically, fashion has multiple cycles per year. If you shop a little or a lot, you would notice that every year there is spring, summer, fall, and winter, which means that all of these brands, all of the designer have to produce, have to come up with new designs 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And also some brands and designers have one more cycle that is geared towards like vacation, right? So it could be 4 to 5 cycle per year. And so as consumer, and myself included, like we are bombarded with new designs, new styles, new things here and there. And so there's always this like constant desire of like wanting something new, wanting something different, wanting something on trend. And I am such a person of like what is on trend, like I want to get that too. But I think there's a fine line between like really purchasing something that we actually need, and
Yeah.
purchasing something that we want. Because going back to like your question, because of these like constant cycles, there's already too much products out there
Yeah.
in the fashion industry. So why is it important to educate ourselves, is so that we can pick and choose the kind of brand that we believe in, the kind of brand that actually contributing to the community around them or the community of people behind the products. It's important to do your research to make sure that also these fashion brand is not exploiting their workers, or what is it that is important to you. Is sustainability important? Is eco-friendly is important? And you're right, like, we're not yet to the point where everything is so like everyone is into ethical fashion. All the brands are into ethical fashion. There is a movement since like 2015, I would say, and we started in 2017.
Mhm.
And so while it is not perfect, you can start somewhere. You can start choosing something that is important to you and really focus on that. Because of this fast movement of fashion, including fast fashion, like, we have to be mindful of what we purchase.
Yeah.
Um, if you believe in a certain cause, like, try to find a brand that actually give back to that cause. If you believe in ethical sourcing or ethical fashion, try to find a brand that does that. Even if just starting from like just your jewelry or just your handbag, like, start somewhere and then you can build from there.
It's so true. I feel like same with so many other things. Something is better than nothing. So even just like choosing one small step that you want to try and take and then kind of growing from there, it's better than nothing. So I feel like, yeah, even just like you said, doing that research and really looking into what's going on behind the scenes, it can be very shocking because the thing is, they make the information kind of hard to find. Like, it's not like they're going to put out there, this
Yeah.
disparaging information about what's going on behind the scenes with their brand, but you can find it. So I think definitely, doing the research is so important.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if they're not telling you the information, then there must be a reason why.
Right.
So like us, telling the story of artisans is important for us. So if you go to our website, there's a story and photos of artisans in Indonesia that we work with, and I'll get into that later about how we started the company. But
Mhm.
we basically, you know, we started the company because we met with these artisans. I used to work for the Indonesian government trade development agency, so I was able to help them market their products in America from the perspective of like, we are the government, we're here to help you. And from there I started the idea of my business. But
Wow.
when you have brands that actually know the artisans, that is a really good indication that they're actually contributing to the lives of the artisans.
That makes a
Or
lot of
even
sense.
the brand is made in a factory, that's totally okay. But make sure that the factory is in a healthy condition, and that the material is sustainable, the material is eco-friendly. Where do they source their material? Is it locally? Is it from another um, country? And how are they shipping their materials? Like that, everything is contributing to like the circulation of fashion.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. I mean, there's so many factors. I feel like you really have to know what to look for and know what to watch out for. And it's such a good point. Like, if they're not talking about it, why? Right? Because if there was nothing to hide
Yeah.
and they were doing the right thing, they would want you to know that. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
such good advice.
To say, if you don't know where to start, like, start with supporting your local boutique. Like, if
Yeah.
you live in a small town, go to the main street and see what are the local boutique there, and start from
Mhm.
there. Live in New York, go to certain areas that there will be boutiques there. Maybe, I don't know, Soho or whatever it is, but like, try to find a boutique that only has one store, and
Yeah.
it's by a family, it's owned by someone who just got out of college. Like, start from there, and then you can always build up and find other brands that are ethical.
Amazing. Very good advice. So, we have a lot of budding entrepreneurs in our community, and I know you started to touch on this. Can you just talk a bit about how you came up with this idea for your business and what steps you took in the very beginning to get it off the ground?
So I used to work for an Indonesian government trade development agency. They were based in Los Angeles, worked there for many years, and my main responsibility is public relations and marketing. So, which means that we help Indonesian exporters, including Indonesian artisans and Indonesian factories, to export their products to America, whether it's through trade show or business meetings. We basically help them to sell their products to America. So from there, I meet with countless artisans who would go to trade shows. They have amazing products from jewelry, um, fashion items like clothing, dresses, and handbags. And
Mhm.
I would see that there's like a disconnection between these artisans and American brands who perhaps are very much like fast paced and they want certain things. And while they like the quality and the design, sometimes the price don't match, or and I just see that there's a wide gap because I'm also Indonesian. I'm able, I was born and raised there.
Wow.
So a certain like adoration, fascination of Indonesian craft. And I see that it's not yet being highlighted. Like you would see Indonesian products in the market, but there's a story that's missing. There's an information that's missing about like, hey, this is made in this beautiful island in Bali, and this is the story of the artisans who make it. And yeah, so I started in 2017, beginning of 2017, and I immediately knew I wanted to do fashion. I wanted to do handbags, and it basically started as a passion for these like amazing uh, naturally made handbags that are made from like these beautiful materials. And once I started, I noticed that there's this like movement of sustainability and green fashion, and so I was fascinated by that because I believe in that already.
Yeah.
uh, so I kind of combine those two together, and from there we grow um, into just specifically wanting to work with selected artisans, so that way I have a long-term and sustainable actual relationship with them,
Right.
materials, but come up with like new designs. So 2017, we were focusing on retail, and then starting in 2020, right around COVID, we we started branching out to wholesale. And then since then, up to this point, we have been growing pretty well. We're now in about 40 retail stores around America. We're in East Coast, West Coast, Miami. We're in upstate New York.
Wow.
Been growing ever since.
So amazing. Such, again, just such an inspiring story. And I feel like it must be so comforting for the artisans that you employ that they know that you really understand like where they're coming from. Like you're from there. So it's like you're not this outside person coming in. You're kind of like, it's probably very easy for them to trust you and to like know that it's going to be a meaningful partnership because you're not just someone from like some strange place. They know you're from there. So that's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it helps that I can still speak the language.
Yeah.
In the COVID lockdown, 2020, and then 2021, also Indonesia experienced some COVID lockdown. In fact, for about 3 months, they were on lockdown. So this whole island of Bali, where some of our artisans are, like no one from out of the island can come.
Wow.
So it was really like plummeting. Um, and I had a chance to like just FaceTime with her every week because we were ordering anyways, and I was just in constant communication with her. And with just talking to her, um, and seeing how her life really is impacted if there's no business, and the
Yeah.
fact that as people in America or brands in America are able to still sustain our business through COVID, like it's amazing. And I get a chance to talk to her, and sometimes she would just cry, and like I don't mean to be emotional here, but like
Yeah.
really cry, and like I really appreciate it because like sometimes I find myself, like she said, she was only like eating rice and hot sauce, And I'm like, you're not, no, like you're, get something else, get some veggies and fried rice. And so I'm like, okay, what can I do to help? How can I order more this time? So every little thing matter, every single support matters to them. And so that's why we're very passionate about our business, because it's not just about making cute products and making money, but it really is contributing to the livelihood of our artisans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's like you said, it's not just that the bags are stunning, but there's such a compelling story behind it as well. And I feel like you guys are only going to continue growing from here, because I feel like everyone who hears this story must just be so like amazed by what you guys are doing and want to support and want to help. So I'm can't wait to see where you guys are like this
Thanks.
time next year, what year after. It's going to be amazing. What would you say is the best piece of advice that you were given on your entire journey with Everina?
I know this couple who has been in business for over 20 years, have successful business, and the wife actually approached me and we had this like conversation about business. This is right before we started our business. And she said to me, Emily, like in business, you will experience a wave. Like it will be like up and down. It will be like sometimes you're here, sometimes you're here. Like, but if you are resilient, if you just keep going, even when you're like down here, you're going to make it.
That is such amazing advice. I feel like it's not even specific to people in business. I feel like that's true for so many people, just that obviously we can't always be like floating on the highs. We're always going to have those lows. And it's so true. If you can just kind of roll with the punches, you're always going to come back up at some point.
Yeah. No matter where you are, whether you have a career or you have a small or big business, like if you believe in the work that you do, like you will be resilient no matter what, and that you will make it to the other side. So
Sure.
keep
I love
going.
that. Yes, yes, I love that. All right, so I'm gonna link everything in the description so that people know where to find you and can follow your Instagram and check out the website and all that good stuff. But is there anything else that you would like our members to know, either about you and your story or Everina?
Yeah, just basically check out our website. We posted a couple of blogs about like how to style our products. We about sustainability and eco-friendliness, so you can learn more about that in our website. We also want to give a 20% off for NYC Brunch Squad.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
I will have a code for you, and the code is NYC Squad.
Perfect.
You can also put that in the link or in the caption, but we'll give you 20% off because you're NYC Squad family.
Oh my gosh, you guys, go get yourself one of these amazing bags. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Emily. It's so good to meet you, and I'm so happy we could partner, not just for this event, but for whatever else we partner on in the future. It's so inspiring to talk with you, and thank you again so much for your time and for connecting with us and for this amazing discount. That's so nice of you. Thank you. All right, guys. Check out Everina. You will not regret it. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all soon.